We'd like to welcome you to the KRA-R Closedown webinar. My name again is Ed Hill, and I'm joined today by colleagues from the Help Desk and the Ohio Department of Education. On our webinar today, we have Carissa Donovan from the Management Council Help Desk, Ohio K-12 Help Desk. We also have Elizabeth Saylor Agnew and Megan Schuler from the Ohio Department of Education. The material that we are sharing today is current as of today. As you know, the K-Ready system is a system that is continuously updated. There are enhancements and improvements and modifications made to that system on a regular basis. And so we want to make sure that if you were to log in on Monday or later on during the week and you see that things look a little bit different than they do today, we just want to make sure that you are aware that the system is continuously being improved and that the information we're sharing in this webinar is current as of today. Again, our purpose for today's webinar is to really just provide you with some updates regarding data collection and close down procedures and reporting procedures. And we do want to remind everyone that today's webinar is being recorded. We'll share that information out. Just want to talk a little bit about our agenda. We're going to go through talking with you about updating student data and user data in the system. We'll talk a little bit about transfers and accessing reports, and then our folks from the department will provide you with some information, additional updates and information regarding the close down procedures for the KRA-R. Our format for today is going to be a combination of slides and live demo. The participants are all in listen-only mode. However, you will be able to submit questions to us via the Q&A section. Just want to go over some basic information regarding close down steps, and then we'll drill into some more detail here in just a bit. The first thing you need to understand is that we need for you to please confirm that all data has been entered in the Ready for Kindergarten online system, or also known as K-Ready. For each student, the most reliable way to verify that all students have complete scores is to view the completion by item report. This report will help with communications between the teachers and principals, admins, and the data managers at the district regarding what scores are missing or have yet to be entered in the system. So we encourage data managers to communicate with the building administrators and teachers associated with the specific students that are missing scores in order to provide any necessary support to ensure that all data is entered into the system by November 1st, 11:59 p.m. So it's really critical, data managers, at this point that you should be checking the system to make sure that you are aware of what scores are entered and what scores are missing, and that you're communicating that information back to your buildings, either through the building administrators or directly to those teachers. Again, you can do so prior to 11:59 p.m. on November 1st, and that's the last opportunity that teachers will have to enter student scores. Again, I mentioned a report, the completion by item report. Carissa is going to walk through that report and show you how to access it and show you how to use that report. Continuing on, it's recommended that data managers load the student file using the bulk loader one more time between now and the end of the administration window. The enrollments should be loaded if new students have been added to a district and or the district needs to assign those students to new teachers. So again, we're encouraging you to do this. This helps with the data cleanup process. It allows you to see, again, if there are any transfers or issues. So we encourage you to do that one more time. As it relates to transfer requests, these are generated when data managers upload student files using the bulk loader. Some students who are originally enrolled in your school or district might have already withdrawn or been transferred to another district or school. As a reminder, we are not removing or deleting any student data from the K-Ready system. However, students can be marked inactive, which includes the student which excludes the student from appearing on any district or school KRA-R school reports. So again, we're not removing students, but we are making them inactive, which will exclude them from showing up on the reports. And again, we'll walk through that process for you. In order to make a student inactive, you need to make sure that no teachers are assigned to the student. If there are no associations with the student, in other words, this is what we call inactive, that word will appear in the student column when you download the reports. Open the student record and select the Enrollments tab to manually assign and remove students from a teacher. So what we'll do is we'll have Carissa walk you through that process, and we'll show you how to make a student inactive when we go live here. And my last reminder here is just, again, that after the administration window closes on November 1st, 11:59 p.m., data managers will have until November the 6th, 11:59 p.m. to do any cleanup necessary regarding transfers. So we need to make sure that we have all of that taken care of by November 6th. And then the last thing is just a reminder to securely store all assessment materials, and that's going to be at the building level. So again, that's a reminder that at the building level, those assessment materials need to be stored securely. So with that, we're going to walk through the process of data cleanup. We're going to talk about reviewing and approving and declining transfers. And we're also going to look at POA status and show you how you can confirm that.
Okay, so for data cleanup, there's basically 3 steps you want to do. And the first is you want to confirm that student scores are entered. So to do that, one of the great reports that I think is very helpful to data managers in communication with their teachers, their principals, and their admins is the completion by item report that Ed mentioned earlier. So how to get there: as soon as you sign into the ohio.kready.org, select your administration. On the left-hand side, go down to reports. Select your drop-down arrow that says create a report and go to that first one there where it says KRA completion by item report. Excuse me. You want to go ahead and put in your data collection. Select your location. If you have multiple elementary schools, let's say, it'll have the list of your other elementary schools. If you want to do it just as a whole, as a district, you can do it as a district report as well. We're just going to go ahead and select the teacher report because I only have one building attached to me. Once that's requested, you're going to see a green up there saying that it was successfully requested. Select download next to your report. Once that opens, this is the report of what you will see. You will see a list of the name of the students. You will see who the teacher is per student. And then you're going to see all of these X's. These X's represent the score that was entered. You're not going to see the score, but you're going to see that, all right, so Carissa did enter scores for Doc, and looks like all of these items are complete for that student. We can also see that there's a number of students here that have missing data. And so on that note, as a data manager, you want to kind of go out there and let that teacher know, hey, you're missing scores. You gotta get these scores entered. You can also relay this to your admins, to your principals, and let them know that, the deadline's a couple days away. We want to get these added as quickly as possible. So this will at least keep you on track and make sure that these are answered. Okay, step 2 is what you want to do is process all transfer requests. So on the left-hand side, we're going to go to your transfers. And as Ed mentioned here, you want to review and approve and or decline any transfers in the system prior to November 1. You want to get these done and just off the plate so you've got your teachers can enter these scores in if need be for these students. So we're going to go through each one of here. You're going to see when you select transfers, you see 3 tabs: request from others, your request, and transfer history. So of course, requests from others are what it states. Other districts have requested a student of yours. So you will have a list here of whether you approve or decline these transfers. Now they do start kind of backwards. So it's not the latest transfer. You can see this date was July 2nd. So you want to scroll down a little bit here, and I've got a lot here. So my latest transfer is October 13th. So you want to kind of go through and just accept or decline and get those cleaned up. Your requests is what it says. These are your requests that you uploaded the student, and whether it's through the bulk loader or manually, when you do it through the bulk loader, once you upload that student and you download those, the completion of that and kind of look at it, you'll see in the messages that it says transfer requested. If you do the student manually, you see at the bottom, once you enter in the SSID for that student, you have a button at the bottom that says transfer request. And then you hit that button and that sends that automatic transfer to that previous district. And then transfer history is all of them. So you can see these go back to 2017. So again, these are the same way that the others are. So your latest one's going to be on that very last page. I know Ed said something regarding how to make a student inactive. And this is one of the things I want to point out, especially when it comes to transfers, is if your student leaves and it is withdrawn from your school, you still need to make that student inactive. So to do that, you can go up to your students. We're going to pick, I know Doc. So we're going to go ahead and find that student. We know Doc left, and I just want to make sure that this student is inactive. As you can see, when you pull the status, it still says active. So once you find that student, click the green open button. You then see two tabs. You see a details and an enrollments tab. All you need to do is remove the teacher from the student, and that will automatically make that student inactive. Remove, it asks, are you sure? You hit OK, gives you that countdown. So then when you go back to your students and you search for Doc again, you're going to see that that student's inactive. And you want to do that for any student that has withdrawn from your school or any student that is a retained kindergarten student. This way, this pulls these students off of your final reports, and you are not responsible for reporting any scores for these students. Okay, so now the last thing I want to the last step here is confirming the point of authority for your students. There's a report that you can pull that will show whether the point of authority is yes with your school or no. So we're going to go back to our reports. Select the drop-down arrow. We're going to go all the way to the bottom. We're going to go to the data downloads report. Select the download type. We're going to do enrollments. Select your data collection. Select your district. And if you want to do more of the location per each of your buildings, you can do that as well. Again, I have just the one district. I'm just going to go ahead and do that one. You see the report has been requested. Then you're going to see export enrollments. So once that is there, select download. Open that up. So this is the enrollment file, but it gives you a couple little extra here. It has these last two columns here. So whether the student's active, as you can see, look, we just took Doc off. So we know that that student is no longer active. And we do see that the point of authority still is lying with our school. And that is one of the things that once that transfer comes from the other district and you accept or decline, if you accept it, the point of authority is going to go to the new school, the new district. So, but I see all of my students right now have the point of authority of my school. So fantastic. If there is one that is stating no, but you know that this student was a transfer and that you sent that transfer request out, that would be one. Let's just say this happened to Happy. This would be one that I would want to reach out to the previous district to have them accept the transfer. So it just kind of helps you, and you can always go back to that transfer history and take a deeper look at whether that student was requested, or you can see your request for that student and see a little more detail of where that student came from or is going to. And after that, like I said, if there is, everything's good here, if the point of authority is good, then you're set. You're going to know your students are good. But this is an extra report that kind of helps to see where that point of authority lies. So again, you're going to search for your student on that left-hand side. I know Happy left the district, so withdrew. So I just want to clean up my data. I'm going to go ahead and find that student, click open next to the student's name. You have two tabs, a details and enrollments tab. Select enrollments. And then you see that the teacher is attached. You see Chris is attached. So you're going to remove the teacher. By removing the teacher, it automatically makes the student inactive. So when it comes to pulling down your reports, when you go to use your scaled school report and your ISA report, Happy is not going to show up on that report because this student's inactive. Another way, just go back and check what you did. Let's go back and pull Happy up, and you see the status as inactive.
And again, I just want to reiterate that as a data manager, you get to all of those areas by clicking on the administration tab.